again, everybody. Well, this is a very special interview that I've done with Skip. Skip owns the Broadstreet car, and that car is featured in the movie Give My Regards to Broadstreet. It's as iconic to me as the DeLorean for Back to the Future. So the difference with this interview is that it's audio only, so I'm going to be putting up some pictures of the car that Skip has been so generous to send over. I hope everybody enjoys it, so you could put it on as some background while you're doing some things and everything. But really wonderful gentleman, Skip. Thank you so much for your time. I hope to make a pilgrimage out there myself to see the car in person one day, hopefully sooner rather than later. And that's about it. And I'll just be posting information in the links. Enjoy the interview, and I'll see everybody in the next video. Until later, peace and love, and here comes the interview. All right, everybody. Well, welcome to Call Me Mr. Broadstreet. We've got by audio today Skip Buttacio. I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly, by the way.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
great. I got it on the first guess. Okay, awesome. That's totally cool. So Skip, for those that don't know, he actually ended up with the car from Broadstreet. A little bit of an intro here from my perspective, and we're going to go ahead and get the story from Skip himself. Basically, with the MTV giveaway, I remember as a Gen X myself that they were giving away the car. The last I heard, it ended up with two sisters in upstate New York who won the contest. And then the trail seems to have gone cold. So, Skip, just going to have you introduce yourself real quick and go over, first of all, how did you get that 1955 Ford Anglia?
Well, it was the kind of thing that when I saw it in the movie, like everybody else, I fell in love with this. It was someday that's going to be for sale. Maybe the guy won't even know what it is. Maybe he'll just think it's a car. Well, that wasn't the case, but when I got a chance to buy it, probably 20 years ago now, I had a chance to buy it, and I kind of hemmed and hawed. And I have a friend who has a car trailer, a hauler, and he was perfectly willing to take me to what the hell was it, Wisconsin, I think, or someplace like that to pick it up. I live in upstate New York, so it was a long drive,
mm-hmm.
And I couldn't decide whether to pop for that kind of money. He wanted quite a bit. The guy that owned it, he had picked it up at an auction, had it on AOL, on eBay, I'm sorry. And I kept my eye on it, and when it didn't sell, I kept in contact with the guy, and he eventually said, "Look, it's getting late in the season. It was approaching November." And he said, "I'm going to put the car up, for storage, and if you don't want it, if you're not going to take it." So I took out a second mortgage on my house, and my buddy drove me there, and we picked the car up, and I drove it back to upstate New York here.
Oh, wow. Well, first of all, as I'm describing to the audience here, seeing through the video and through the audio, we're doing it a little bit old school, which is totally good. It's as important. What I'm showing right now is basically I have a little model DeLorean in my hand that I'm showing to the camera right now. That car means as much to me as the DeLorean from Back to the Future or any number of cars. I mean, I love the film, as you can tell with the name Call Me Mr. Broadstreet. So that's interesting. So when you found the car, I mean, did he have any sort of paperwork with it or any sort of story as to how it sort of ended up in Wisconsin?
I've got a couple different pieces of paper with it. I don't have my hands on them right now because I keep them in a safe.
Mm-hmm.
I have a form that the mother filled out. See, what happened was the girls were too young to drive, so their father drove them in the car, took it to car shows in Buffalo, and eventually he passed away. The girls go away to school or get married, I'm not sure which, and the mother's left at home, of course, and she didn't know how to get rid of the car, and nobody else really cared. So she had a handyman come to the house to do some work, and he saw the car and he offered to help her get rid of it, get a dealer to take it. So a local dealer in Amherst apparently bought it from her. God knows what he paid. It probably wasn't enough.
Wow.
And I haven't been able to get a hold of the girls. I've tried. I've talked to the mother a few years back. She's probably passed away by now. God, I lose track of time. I forget that. I've had it over 20 years.
Wow.
So that was kind of how I ended up with it. And
oh, excellent, excellent. No, that's really cool. I mean that. Well, first of all, again, just seeing that car, seeing it in the film, as I've seen it so many times. Absolutely, wonderful car, wonderful piece of movie memorabilia. We're going to get into that in a little bit, and I think we're going to kind of wind the clock back just a tiny bit. So
sure.
just a little bit with winding back the clock. Where did you kind of first get your fandom for the Beatles? Where did that sort of begin for you? I think I'm going to have a guess, but I want you to go ahead and let us know where that all started.
I'd have to say 1964 in front of the TV. At Sullivan, like everybody, like any first generation fan.
Of course, of course. It's funny when you speak of fans, because first of all, I'd be remiss if I didn't say thank you to Megan Pacey. She actually got us in contact, and as myself as a Gen X fan, I don't know if that's second or third generation. Megan, I guess, is sort of a second and third generation fan, connecting with you with a first generation fan. So I just want to kind of do a quick shout out to Megan as well. She's hopefully listening and watching. That is so cool, though. Obviously, like a lot of folks. And then I'm guessing during that journey, did you kind of just end up picking up a lot of the, obviously the albums, singles, everything like that?
Oh, God. Yeah. I was already up to my neck in records and memorabilia. And yeah, my collection's pretty big. In fact, it's overwhelming, really. Got to start thinking about doing something with it,
So how many items would you say you would have in the collection if you were to do a guess?
I have a basement full. How's that? I mean, I can send you some pictures. I wish I was better organized here for this interview.
No, that's totally fine, and I'd love to do some pictures as well. We could definitely do some pictures and maybe share those as well. That's perfectly fine.
Yeah. I've got way too much stuff and not enough room for it all.
Isn't that the case with all of us? I know with a certain
it gets worse though.
Oh yeah.
When they start talking foolish things like Anthology 4.
Oh yes. Oh God. Well, I'll tell you with the current news. I mean, with Anthology 4, I'm gonna have to get it. I mean, that's me personally. I'm like, yes, I'm gonna end up getting it. I know there's been a lot of back and forth with what's on there, what's not on there, but I mean that was sort of kind of my era. I mean, with 30 years ago, I can't believe myself. I was in college at that point, and that sort of secondary round of Beatlemania, even though I was aware of the solo stuff, but the buzz around it again. I'm really looking forward to the basically the cleaned up video, which I'm hoping is going to get a physical release.
If there's money to be made, it'll be released. I have every confidence that they'll do it. Another version of the book with 6 extra pages and foolish stuff like that. I'm sorry, I've had enough. I'm ashamed of myself for saying it, but I've had enough. I think they're just milking the fans of all people who don't deserve to be milked. It's the fans, and I think that's what they're doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, very, very valid. I mean, it's definitely. I mean, me myself, I'm excited for it, but I get kind of where that perspective comes from as well. With
See, when Anthology came out, the original, I bought it. I was so sure it was going to be collectible. I bought it on vinyl. I bought it on cassette. I bought all 3 kinds of cassettes. Because they had a wrapped cassette, a mid-sized box, and a long box.
Yes.
Same thing with the CD. Same thing with the DVD. And I bought it all. I've got vinyl here that's still sealed of all three chapters, 1, 2, and 3. So what happens to that when they reissue a 1 through 4? Does that become worthless?
That's a good question. Now that you bring that up, and I'm kind of as I'm thinking of it,
Well,
I
who's
mean,
going to
yeah,
want it?
yeah,
Yesterday it might have been worth $75 for a 3-record set.
hmm
Tomorrow it won't be.
yeah. That might be true. I mean, it's definitely I mean it's the weirdest things. It's kind of the weirdest things that get increase in value, decrease in value. So many reissues. No, I understand the point. Definitely,
Yeah.
definitely with that. It's no, it's. Oh, go ahead, Skip.
No, I'm cool. I didn't mean to get on and start ranting about.
No, that's fine. Absolutely. You know what? This is the richness of as I'm explaining to to everybody here. It's the richness of of the Beatles community. Obviously, we have so many different different takes. I mean, I know one thing that we could definitely 100% agree on: Broadstreet. And I'll tell you now, for me, I didn't get to see it in the theaters. I got to see it on VHS and then later DVD and things like that. Where did you get to first see Broadstreet? Was it in the theaters? Describe
I
that.
saw it in the theaters. I made sure I got to the theaters to see it. I don't see a lot of movies, believe me. So it was one of those things that I had to see it on the big screen, and I'm glad I did. I don't remember how many different iterations they had for. I guess it came out on beta and VHS eventually.
Yep.
Then DVD and then Blu-ray. And
yeah, not quite Blu-ray. It's oh goodness, here I'll do my silly human trick, as I like to call it, with folks. VHS beta, 1991 VHS re-release, 1996 VHS release, 2004 DVD release, and Laserdisc, and that kind of ends the official releases. There is a Blu-ray running around, which is kind of a quote unofficial Dutch import, whatever you want to call it. But I mean that one I do have as part of the collection too. But that's okay. So what theater? I mean, what theater was it in? Was it in near in the city, upstate New York? I'm guessing.
I had to go to Rochester to see it.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have any theaters in the little burg I live in here.
Mm-hmm.
So no, that was all. It's probably an hour away. It was cool to see it. I can remember the beginning of the movie when the hot rod drives across the screen. It's just it's burned in my mind. Burned in my memory.
Oh God, yeah, for definitely especially for us, Broadstreet fans with the the sort of this whole subculture within the solo Beatles, within the Beatles. Within the Beatles. And that kind of leads into my next question, actually. So, like, favorite scenes. What are some of the favorite scenes from the movie? That seems like one where he's kind of speeding off and, getting to the studio.
The first 15 minutes of it, where he's zooming past the old ladies in the little car and all that. But then the car isn't shown again until the end. They did a nice version of what is it, Along the Winding Road, with the car driving through the streets at night. And I didn't realize it at the time that I saw the movie, but they show the undercarriage of the car is lit up as he's driving it.
That's right.
Through the streets, and I didn't realize it, but there's lights under there. And once I bought the car, and I'm trying to figure out all these little switches in there, there's a set of lights that shine underneath the car. So when the rear end is spinning, the left and right side. It's cool to see, but I don't take it out at night. Those two little headlights are not a lot of light for driving a car out in the country,
Oh, I'm sure of that. I mean, my goodness, that's and especially with a car that's 40 plus years old in the movie, and then built in the 1950s as compared to modern cars.
Yeah. I mean, it's got a strange little steering wheel and brakes, but that's about it,
Yeah, yeah, no, it's and so that leads into sort of the next question. So, where did your love of cars come from? Because if I understand correctly, you don't just have the Broad Street car on display; you have other things on display as well within your collection.
Uh, I've got a couple other sports cars, I guess you call them,
Hmm.
Crossfires, Chrysler Crossfires. I have a convertible and a hardtop, but that's about it. I don't have a lot of cars collected,
Hmm. Yeah, yeah,
but
no,
I
that.
always been a car guy. I liked cars. I was conscious of what I was wanted to buy and what I didn't want to buy.
Hmm. But
But I've had some strange cars in my past. But
well, yeah, what were some of those kind of unique cars or those
oh
strange
god,
cars?
I'm oh gosh. Uh, I honestly can't remember now. Nothing earth shattering. Trust me. Uh,
Okay, well,
nothing that was fancy or valuable.
no, I get it. I get it. Well, I know, with the car itself, and I know I've seen kind of a few pictures online, which obviously we're gonna go ahead and be sharing with the audience and everything like that through visual as this is airing. With the car itself, now I know interior, it's different from the movie, from real life, like with a lot of things. So, kind of how does the interior differ, with what you have in the car, or what the car came with, versus what we see in the movie? We see the computer screen in the movie. We see the red bat telephone, for lack of a better word.
Yeah, yeah. The phones are still in the car. They're not hooked up to anything. They weren't even in the movie. It was just a movie prop more or less. And the same thing with the computer. The computer it's a wooden box painted with a little remote control taped in it for keys. Uh, so it's not that it worked, but it served a purpose.
Mhm.
And everybody sees it and look, two phones. It's like what's the big deal about two phones? What's the deal about any phone today? Everybody's got a phone. The 6-year-olds driving down the street in their bicycle got phones.
Oh, of course, no, everybody. It's all right
But back
around
then it
us.
was a big deal.
Oh yeah, yeah, of course. And if I remember now, with the car itself, it's a manual transmission, which I'll confess I can't drive for
No, no,
worth
no. It's
anything.
an automatic.
Oh, it's an automatic. Oh, okay.
Yes,
Now I
yes.
thought there was like a 7 ball on the one of the gear shifters.
There is. There's a pool ball, a 7 ball, on the shifter knob, but it's still got an automatic transmission. Because I was concerned about that when I was thinking about buying it. Is that I'm right-handed. I'm not sure I could shift manual transmission with my left hand. I could probably get used to it, but right off the bat, I don't think I'd be that comfortable with it.
Well, there we go. See, that's something I never knew about the car. I never knew it was an automatic. Was it just when you got it? Was it an automatic car, or was it
Yes,
converted? Oh wow.
yes,
Oh,
yeah,
oh my goodness, that is really cool. That's a really cool fact that I never I never knew. I never knew that. We're kind of, well, at least I'm finding out about it first here. Wow, that is so cool. Well, then that does lead into sort of the next question. So, how often do you drive the car? I'm imagining you take it to different like different antique shows, things like that. But how often do you get out
yeah.
to
I've
drive it?
I've I've, I've driven it to some car shows, local stuff, and I've had my friend take me to car shows like in Rochester and stuff. And every once in a while, I'll come home with a trophy, but I don't, it's not why I take it there. And it always attracts attention. Uh, even in the smallest local shows, that are, a couple hours in the afternoon. Uh, I drive it not as much as I used to. I'm ashamed of myself. Uh, I had it out a couple times this summer, and I was all ready to take it to a local car show, and had trouble with the fuel pump, so I just parked it and closed the garage door. It's just I'm getting older, and I don't have the ambition to fix things.
No, no, it's understandable, and especially with the cars. So I know you described about it getting some work, earlier with one of the previous owners in Wisconsin. So does it take a lot of like labor intensive to sort of keep up the car, to keep it functioning, that type of thing?
Not really. Not really. It's well, I had to change engines in it
Hmm.
because I had some work done on it by somebody that was supposed to be knowledgeable, and that didn't work out. And when he got done with it, had a knocking noise that I could not get out. So I went to I talked to the guy that helped him work on the car, and he happened to have a Rover V8 that he just took out of an MG. So I took the engine, and my brother helped me put it in, and it's running again. With the same looking engine, the exact same thing. The Rover engine is kind of funny. It's actually it's a Buick engine today. The Back in the muscle car area where everybody was buying huge engines, nobody had any use for a manufacturing plant that spit out 218 cubic inch V8 engines.
Mhm.
So Buick sold the whole assembly line to Rover in England, and they made Rover engines, the exact same engine, which is something I didn't know at the time, but you learn things as time goes on.
Oh, of course. No, exactly. We're always, just like what you just told me with the automatic and everything, and with the engines. Of course, there's always new facts that come out, and it's just it's just amazing. Well, first of all, just amazing that you own, in my view, such a piece of movie history, of
Well,
Beatles history.
I'm glad you see it that way because I do too. And you know, I don't know. I thought that from the second I got my hands on it. I can remember taking it back. God, we were driving at night. It was a Saturday night, I think, because we wanted to stop and get a motel room, and there was nothing available because Notre Dame was playing a home game.
Ooh.
So we just kept driving, and you couldn't find a vacancy.
Oh wow, yeah, I would be too nerve wracked. I don't know how you did.
Well,
How
I
did you
can
do
remember stopping though on the thruway and getting out and opening the side door of the trailer just to check on the car, and I saw that thing in there, and I said, "Oh Christ, I can't believe that I bought it." I can still remember it to this day. The other thing that I can't believe is that the movie flopped as bad as it did.
Yeah, I would have to agree on that. I mean, a lot of films, you see a lot of Elvis films with very, let's say, thin plots, or other music related films where it's just, a person goes to a concert, does a thing, and they're showcasing their songs. And
Exactly. That's what I expected out of the movie. I expected an hour and a half worth of Paul's videos. Music videos. That's
yeah, yeah, and that's exactly what we got. We got that. We received that. We get what sticks with me, was is definitely the warehouse sequence where they're jamming along. We practicing to be Canadians. The couple of the new songs there. Certainly, No More Lonely Nights, one of my favorite Paul song of all time. And what are some of the things about the movie that stuck with you besides kind of the car sequence in the beginning?
the beginning and the end, where the car was involved in. The factory scene where they sing "Bad Boy." That was good. I enjoyed that.
Yep.
But there was a lot of it. The even ballroom dancing. Whether you like the song or don't like the song, the staging and the whole thing was very well done.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, incredibly. I mean, incredibly. The set pieces. I'll give a little factoid of my own that I've learned about the film over the years is that the film that was filming at Elstree Studios at the same time as Broadstreet came out the same year, 1984, a couple months earlier. Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom.
Wow.
Yeah, they got Harrison Ford, McCartney, and Spielberg got to meet. I think if I recollect correctly, McCartney I think went over to check out Steven Spielberg's set. I think there's the scene where they're in the temple itself, and they're some poor fellow's about to meet his doom. Temple of Doom, right? As something along those lines. But yeah, a lot of
Yeah.
stuff filmed at L Street Studios, which I find fascinating. Even just the making of it, the whole thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I think it's wonderful film. I think it really, and the reason for myself doing the channel, obviously, really preserving it, and I'm glad that you're preserving that card, that piece of history, that piece of, again, solo Beatles, Paul Beatles history, movie history.
That's how I feel about it too. I'm glad you see it that way.
Yeah, I think we're both kind of archivists by nature. And I like that you have that. I have to ask. So, what other like kind of Broad Street memorabilia do you have? Is it just a car? Is it other things that you've also collected from the
Oh,
film?
I'm always picking up anything I can get my hands on. It's hard to find stuff like that, movie memorabilia over here,
Mhm.
because the movie was made in the UK, I believe.
Yep.
And I got some slides, color slides that I don't even have a projector to play them on, but just 5 or 6 or so,
Yeah, the
But
35 millimeter slides. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
yeah, those are the only slides I've got. But like I said, it's harder to come by here. I'm looking over my collection right now, and gosh, I don't have a lot at all. I do have a couple model cars, plastic cars, the kind you assemble. Couple of people that found out that I had the car wanted to make, or they had made themselves a duplicate. Here's this little 5-inch Broadstreet car. It's cool as hell.
Wow.
And they told me if I bought a model, and sent it to them, that they would build it for me like that, and they did. So I've got a couple of different ones. I can take pictures of those and send them to you sometime.
Sure.
But as for items, I've got an MPL Communications call sheet.
Oh,
For
yes.
Studio 36A. It's I think 3 pages maybe. It's interesting as hell. It talks about what time you have to pick the characters up and what time they're going to be in makeup and on the set by 10 or 10:15, and it's really interesting. I don't know if it's original.
I think it might
be. It might
be.
not.
It might be if it was part of Prop Store. I ended up myself picking up. There's a TV spot adverts. I'm gonna definitely we're definitely gonna be exchanging some photos here, even after the filming, because
I'm
TV
sure of it.
TV adverts. There's a crew glass I have given to one of the members of the crew. Very fancy glass. I have.
I saw that. I saw that on your website.
Yeah, and it's so much fun. The Broad Street jacket. I think it's a crew jacket. I know there aren't.
Oh yeah, it's definitely a crew jacket. I've seen them and always wanted one, and I am still looking.
Ooh, I've been looking for a secondary one, but I know that Trax had one from Jeff Emmerich's collection, but that secondary one got snapped up a few years ago, and I'm usually looking as well. A couple of the scripts themselves, the blue scripts, I think they're.
Oh yeah. I bought that from a local TV reporter that got to go to New York, I guess, when McCartney was doing all the big publicity push.
Yep.
And he got his set, whatever. And in it there's a black and white picture of Paul, and then it's autographed with a black felt pen, and it's hard to even see the autograph.
Yep.
But it was part of the package, and he advertised it for sale, and I went up to Rochester and I bought it, and I've got it put away, but I know it's the one that you have on the cover of your website when I go there.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
Blue one.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, exactly, exactly. That same one. Oh my God. Wow, that is so cool.
Have you ever seen the video games?
I have. I've seen the video games. I've actually got, I believe, one sealed and one opened copy for the Commodore 64. So yeah, I've got that. With the video games, I mean, there's a few more items I've come across. I'm not quite revealing them just yet for the channel's sake. I am going to send some private stuff to you a little bit later after we're kind of done with our formal conversation here. My God, that's amazing. That is so amazing. Um, what and Do you also remember kind of your first solo Beatles item that you might have picked up, whether it was Broadstreet or something else?
It had to be McCartney, I think.
Okay, yeah, the original McCartney LP.
Yeah, yeah. That was also the first bootleg I ever bought. Uh, Nothing fancy, a bootleg record. You know, I had always heard about them, but never had seen one in the store. And there was the stereo shop in Rochester. They had it, and I remember buying it, and they had like early versions of some of the stuff off McCartney.
Yep.
Some of the Let It Be stuff was on there. Nothing great, but it was something that you just couldn't buy. That was before, of course. Now you can go buy bootleg cassettes or bootleg CDs. I mean, just about anywhere, any record show, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, yeah. They're especially during the golden age of the '80s and '90s, kind of with the CDs, and then of course online.
Yeah,
I mean, somebody's always posting some different take or some different mashup of something or other.
exactly, exactly.
Wow, that's well, I've always wondered. So since you've got all this stuff, how does your family deal with your passion? How does your family sort of how do they handle it, or how do they cope with it, knowing that you've got so much of this?
You said the word. I think one of the first interviews I ever did with a local uh, uh, newspaper.
Yep.
Uh, they took some pictures of my collection, which I laugh when I see them because there's nothing there, And one of the things they said was that his wife copes, tolerates his collection. We've always busted each other's chops about that since then. That my wife tolerates me.
That's always the case. There's always family members going, "Why are you doing this?" But it's a
Yeah.
passion,
Well,
It's
it was my son that kind of pushed me off the edge because I was, I knew I could get a second mortgage and I knew I could find a way to get it here. Everybody was kind of going dropping in place. I can't not get it because of this. I can't not get it because of that. And my son said, "Go for it. Go for it. You won't be sorry unless you do." So I did.
of course, life is so short, and I have to wonder. It leads me into also, is there still kind of like a holy grail that you might be looking for as part of the collection?
I'm always there's a lot that I don't have. A lot of the real high end stuff. But if I run across it at a reasonable price, I'd probably get it. But to shell out $400 for an anthology four, I don't see me doing it. I don't know. I say I won't, but I won't know till it's in front of me on a shelf
That
somewhere.
that's always the thing. I mean, myself, I think I'm going for the compact disc, which is 120 something anyways. But
Yeah,
the rest, it's debatable. The rest. I mean,
yeah,
I've got the anthology book as I'm looking over at my bookcase off to the side, from the year 2000, along with a whole bunch of other books. Um, now
yeah.
here,
I stop buying books unless there's something spectacular. I just can't. Everybody's written a book, for God's sakes. It's too many.
no, there's a lot. There's definitely a lot out there. Well, I wonder now if you were approached for the archive set, right? Let's say, and I'm hoping for a Broadstreet archive release like what we got with Pipes of Peace, Tug of War, Band on the Run. Of course, we all want London Town, Back to the Egg, everything like that. It's part of the archive collection. What are some of the things you would supply if Paul came to you and said, "You know what? You know what, Skip? I tell you what, I would love to get some of the photos of some of the stuff to kind of include. What are some things that you think you would include?
Ooh, well, you can take pictures of the car.
Hmm. Yep.
uh, I don't know. But like any other box set, they add some outtakes. If he even saved them, I mean, he's pretty much abandoned Broadstreet. Like he doesn't want to know whatever happened. You know,
Yeah.
it's funny because I was just talking with a buddy of mine. Uh, McCartney's going to be in Buffalo. November 14th, I think.
Yeah.
And there's plenty of tickets for sale if you want to spring for ridiculous amounts of money. But the two girls that won the car, I say two girls, the sisters,
Mhm.
were from Buffalo, and I have never been able to get a hold of them. And I thought, wouldn't it be cool? This is one of those fantasy dreams. Wouldn't it be cool if he sang, drive my car, and they push the car out from the side, from the wings, so just on the stage, just as a surprise to everybody. I don't think he would ever do it because it's like he's ashamed of it. He's ashamed of the failure,
Yeah, and I mean commercially, sure it failed, but I mean it yields "No More Lonely Nights" again is best song in my personal view.
I agree. I
You know?
agree. You're preaching
Oh,
to
of
the
course,
choir.
definitely preaching to the choir on
I
this one.
agree.
Not Such a
I
Bad
don't.
Boy, and No Values. Great song, great pair of songs.
Yes.
I'd like that idea though. I'd never thought of that. Ideally, he would do "No More Lonely Nights" after that live. For years, I've wanted I've wanted him to do that song live. You know.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Especially since he has such a huge library to pick from.
Yes.
His more recent stuff, I bought it, but I didn't buy 14 different color vinyls of Egypt Station or Now or whatever the hell he's. I'm disappointed in the later stuff. I listened to it and I put it on the shelf. That's it. I got it to complete the collection, but I'm disappointed as far as a Paul McCartney song. Just me.
Yeah. No, I get it. No, I mean for me, and for me, I see a different point of view with, I think some stuff is great, of course. To me, some of the modern stuff is great. Some of it doesn't strike a chord with me either. It's like anything. It's like any artist. You're not always going to bat 1,000, on every single level. Nobody can. Beatles can't do it. The Stones can't do it. The Who, whomever is out there, name any artist.
Yeah. You're right. You're right.
And it is subjective. It's very, very subjective.
And to have such a huge library to pick from, though.
Yeah.
My gosh. I've heard him do, enough songs. It's like going to see Ringo without hearing Yellow Submarine.
Yeah.
It wouldn't break my heart, but I know he's going to do it because that's what everybody wants to hear. Almost everybody.
Yeah. I mean, Hey Jude. I mean, look, personally, I would sacrifice Hey Jude to put Take It Away and No More Lonely Nights into the set list alone.
Sure. I agree with you.
Give us Spies Like Us. That's a fun little 80s song to sort of put on there. These are not obscure. I'm not talking obscure stuff. I'm not talking Morse Moose and Grey Goose here from London Town. As much as I enjoy the track, deeper cuts.
That's a good one.
You can do so many things where you're pleasing maybe the more casual fans and some of the more hardcore fans and giving value for the money. But I get it. Oh, I totally get it. I totally get it. Well, as we're kind of sort of getting towards wrapping up the interview for this evening, and Skip, I really appreciate it that Megan connected us. That we're definitely after this, we're definitely going to be sending probably a lot of photos back and forth.
I'm sure of it.
Oh, 100%. And as this is going to be, as we're going to be airing this basically during the Labor Day weekend. Now, one of my other questions is, do you ever do any kind of public exhibitions for the car and for your collection and everything like that?
I've done some.
Mhm.
I did one where I took it to Syracuse. Joey Molland happened to be there. He was the band he was with. They were doing Badfinger songs,
Yeah.
and I knew the band, and they made arrangements to bring the car in, and I set up a couple tables selling, CDs and anything else I could think of at the time.
Oh God, we missed
But
Joey.
yeah, I've sent it up. I set a couple times, not a lot, but I enjoy doing it. I really do.
Oh, excellent.
Whenever I take it to a car show or anything, I have these little magnets that I make up. Just a little maybe 2x2 magnet.
Yep.
Of I'll take a bunch of pictures and cut them up, and I've got a handful to hand out to the kids when they see the car, because when they're done moving on over the phones, they think it's a cool car, and I give them a magnet. It's not a big deal, but it's something they can remember.
Of course. No, that's so awesome. And if folks want to find out more, like, is there any kind of contact information that you do want to share, or where they might find you, or something, besides the auto shows and everything like that that you wanted to share?
I should at least have a website, but I don't.
Okay, no,
I'm a computer illiterate.
and that's completely fine. But no, I mean, Skip, it's just, for me, it's been a pleasure just even talking over the phone and everything, kind of doing it again, I get a bit more old school. As I've said, with the with sort of the video portion, of course, I'm going to be looking to put up photos and everything like that as I'm editing this together. And you know what, Skip, I so appreciate it. I appreciate what you're doing as far as, again, just preserving this amazing car. Um, I get the feeling, hopefully, not to sound too forward, but I would hopefully I would love to be able to do a pilgrimage to see the car myself at some point. I'm blown away just seeing
I don't
some
think
of
you're
the.
that far away from me.
Well, yeah, no, Boston area. So a bit, but not horribly.
No,
Yeah.
that's nothing.
I tell you, if I could always take it for a spin, but I know I could hear you going, yeah, I don't know, on the other side. But you know what? But at least seeing the car, if I'm ever able to, and I'd love, of course, being able to share, like I said, specifically the Broadstreet items.
I've shared it with a lot of people that I'm only an hour away, or I'm only a couple hours away. Can I stop by? Sure.
Yeah.
I don't usually have a problem with it.
Thank you.
I enjoy showing it. Because if I had a chance to see it, I'd wanna. I don't know. It's just it's how much you love the car. That's all.
Iconic car, really. And I'm 100%
Well, I'm glad there's
serious.
somebody like you that's keeping it in the public eye, at least. You know what I mean? I guess that's what I mean to say. I think that the fact that you can get on the computer and try to find Broadstreet and what you're doing shows up.
Thank you.
I appreciate that.
No, Skip, thank you. That means a lot to me, because it's really documenting sort of a lost piece of history, and love it. I mean, I love history. I love being able to preserve what we can of our shared experiences, particularly this film, which I just really enjoy. And I just wanted to end on that, Skip. Thank you so much for being on the show. As I said, after this, we're gonna continue. We're probably gonna end the recording here. Is there any last thoughts you want to share before we go ahead and end the recording for today?
No, just thanks for the interest, and like you said, I'm sure we'll be in contact. That's all I could ask.
Well, I want to tell you again, shout out to Megan Pacey for putting Skip and myself in contact. So again, just Skip Buttacio, just wonderful to have you on, sir. I will be making that pilgrimage on some point. As far as folks listening, viewing the show, I'm going to see everybody in the next video. So I will go ahead and end it here. Have a great one, everybody, and keep up the thumbs, like, and subscribe. I really appreciate it. So I'll see everybody next time. Bye.
Bye-bye.